So,
don't think I have.
how you know about him, Noah?
I actually haven't read much of his stuff because it carries a little bit of a strange theme, although he is a pretty good writer. But I heard of him, I think, actually, because I'm associated with some people that does like his work, and then also I heard a little of him in studying or listening about Charles Dickens, who he lived during the same time. I think.
That's true.
Page 194.
Yeah, page 194. So I'm gonna read the bio, then we're gonna have others to read certain. Edgar Allan Poe is a world famous American author, world famous for this. She's almost started a brand called Suspense, right? So you know Suspense, novel suspense. Okay. His poems are outstanding poems. So let's see. Okay. Edgar Allan Poe was born in Boston, Massachusetts, the son of traveling actors who died when he was very young. A wealthy Virginian tobacco exporter raised Poe and provided him with a solid education. Paul dropped out of the University of Virginia and tried to gamble his way out of debt. He joined the army and was soon discharged. His stint at West Point proved short as well. Anybody know what West Point is about?
West Point?
No.
West Point is a military school, university, basically. Okay, so Paul was dishonorably discharged for neglecting his duties. You want to know more about West Point? Read the autobiography of Douglas MacArthur, okay, who used to be principal for West Point and did more than in his time reformation of this military school elevate to a different place. So his speech in West Point is one of the best speech in American lecture or whatever speeches. So okay, anyway, in 1836, he married his cousin, Virginia Clem. Paul began working as a journalist and edited a number of prominent magazines and journals, where he frequently published his own stories, poems, and essays. His first collection of stories tells the Grosk and the Abisk. That's terrible. So, 1839. It is a book of verse, The Raven, and other poems, 1845. Earned Paul immense fame. Still, he struggled financially and drank heavily. Not a good life. His life died in 1847. He followed his wife, and he followed her to the grave 2 years later. Despite his untimely and somehow mysterious death in Baltimore at age 40, Paul left behind a body for startling original fiction and poetry. Poems were productive.
And we had a few poet writers died
Untimely.
Early.
Yeah, there sometimes can be very conflicting characters. So, okay. The first one called Alone. Elijah, why don't you read that one?
From childhood's hour, I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. And all loved I loved alone. Then, in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of good and ill, the mystery which binds me still. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled, its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky, as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm, and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view.
A demon. Actually.
Demon.
Yeah, that's where.
But that was a
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to make a little bit arrangement here. I'm going to have Naomi, Elijah paired together, read one poem. I'll read it. Then I have Noah and Esther pair one team to read one poem. Then I might read it. So then we have you guys might take turn to comments on certain things, or maybe have Noah to share his insight about certain poems. Okay, so we have Noah basically be a constant reviewer of the poems. So in this one, Naomi, please go ahead.
Do you alone again? Okay.
I want you guys to read poems with a little bit of understanding and a little bit quote performance. Okay, just don't read it. It's a casual reading. Basically, read as you would like to read. Okay, so okay, like a sing a song, you know. So that,
Yeah. From childhood's hour I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. And all I'd loved alone. Then my childhood and the dawn of a most stormy life was drawn. From every depth of good and ill, the mystery which binds me still. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled, in its autumn tint of gold. From the lightning in the sky, as it passed me flying by. From the thunder and the storm, and the cloud that took the form. And the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view.
We're a gloomy view of life, actually, huh? From childhood's hour, I'll not been. As others were, I'll not sing. As others saw, I could not bring my passion from a common spring. So he's a strange personality. From the same source I have not taken my sorrow, I could now awaken my heart to joy in the same tone, and all aloud alone. That's where the alone came from. Title. Then in my childhood, in the dawn of most stormy life was drawn. From every depth of good and ill, the mystery was bind me still. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff the mountain, from the sun around me rolled in its autumn tint gold. From the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view. Not much to comment on this. Let's move on. So, Noah, the next one.
I guess I don't really know his motivation in writing this poem, but I do notice from the title that he's speaking of a mythological Greek character, Helen, which is basically supposed to be a very beautiful woman, and according to Greek mythology. To Helen.
Do you know Helen in his Odyssey? That's okay. Yeah.
Well, I think it is mentioned also. It's in Iliad as well.
Iliad. That's
The
right.
Iliad,
Yes. Yeah.
The Iliad. It's you heard of Homer, the Greek poet?
Yes.
Anyways.
Okay.
Helen, thy beauty is to me like those Nician may refer to, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right,
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
a city in southern France, like those Nician barks of yore, that gently o'er a perfumed sea the weary, way-worn wanderer bore to his own native shore. On desperate seas, long wont to roam, thy Hyacinth hair, thy classic face, thy Naiad airs, Naiad being a water nymph, have brought me home to the glory that was Greece and the grandeur that was Rome. Lo, in yon brilliant window, how do you pronounce this word again?
Niche.
Niche.
Yeah.
Niche.
Niche. Yeah.
Lo, in yon brilliant window niche, how statue-like I see thee stand, the agate lamp within thy hand. Ah, Psyche, from the regions which are holy land. I'm not impressed by that poem.
It's all Greek mythology and European
I just think it's
ideas. Well, let's move on with that one. It's filthy, indeed.
it's a little
Oh,
it's
the
too
Ravenloft
much.
one is really
Yeah, we
I
don't-
would call that a nerdy poem.
we're not gonna do that one either. Okay, so, but this one may be good. Annabelle Lee, the last one. His poems rhymes were good, were artist rhymes. So it's good for the art, or maybe not content. So Noah, why not you read that one? So
Annabelle Lee. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived, whom you may know, by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that, long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabelle Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in that sepulcher in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabelle Lee.
that's a worst gloomy guy, huh? So
Yeah, definitely. That's why I haven't really read a lot of his stuff.
eh,
But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabelle Lee.
Hello. Hi.
For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in the sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea.
What is sepulchre?
It's like a grave.
exactly. Yeah. Go ahead. That's not good poem for young girl to read. Well, we'll try. So yeah. Your turn.
Edgar's kind of an interesting guy.
What?
Pair together, Emily. You don't like the poem? Then we read the poem. Move on. Well, the poems became more and more broad in its topics, and they're not necessarily always a healthy and meaningful content. So we're going to read the next one then. Okay. You know guy named Alfred? Okay.
I haven't heard this
No, I
yet.
haven't.
Alfred Tennyson, 1809 to 1892, was born in Lincolnshire, England, one of 12 children of a hard-drinking county priest, King Rick. That's how you characterize that father. You know?
Hard-drinking
That's
country
all you
priest.
get. Tennyson attended Trinity College, Cambridge. Left before taking a degree. His 14-year engagement to Emily Selwood, its length due to Tennyson's financial struggles, finally resulted in marriage in 1850. The same year, he published his acclaimed In Memoriam, 1850, and Queen Victoria named him Poet Laureate, a post he held for 4 decades. Tennyson gained widespread fame in his lifetime, especially for such books as Idols of the King, 1859, 1889, a 12-part narrative of Arthur and his Round Table.
I read that book.
Did he?
I didn't know this guy.
Okay. Late in life, he wrote a number of plays. Queen Victoria made Tennyson a baron in 1883, at which point he added Lord to his name. He's buried near Browning and Chaucer in the Poets' Corner, Westminster Abbey. That's very interesting. Good. Browning is another poet, and Chaucer is another poet. So this Westminster Corner, this abbey, is like a holy place for these poets. Okay, so that means it's very good. So I don't know. We're gonna read the first one too long. So we're gonna start with the second one. We're gonna start with the Esther on this one. Break, break, break. Ah,
Sorry. Okay. Break, break, break. On thy holy, on thy cold gray stones, O sea. And I would that my tongue could utter the thoughts that arise in me. Oh well for the fisherman's boy that he shouts with his sister at play. Oh well for the sailor lad that he sings in his boat on the bay. And the stately ships go on to their haven under the hill. But oh for the touch of a vanished hand and the sound of a voice that is still. Break, break, break at the foot of thy crag. Does that say?
Crags.
Crags, O sea.
it's like rocks.
But the tender grace of a day that is dead will never come back to me.
Go ahead, Norma.
You want me to read it?
Mm-hmm.
Break, break, break on thy cold gray stones, O sea. And I would that my tongue could utter the thoughts that arise in me. Oh well for the fisherman's boy that he shouts with his sister at play. Oh well for the sailor lad that he sings in his boat on the bay. And the stately ships go on to their haven under the hill. But oh for the touch of a vanished hand and the sound of a voice that is still. Break, break, break at the foot of thy crags, O sea. But the tender grace of a day that is dead will never come back to me.
Shortly, what do you think this is about?
I can just imagine this poet out on the seashore on a gray, stormy day after reflecting upon someone special to him that may have passed away recently. I don't know. I think it is talking about someone that may have died, someone close to him. Either that or he's thinking of memories of his earlier life. One or the other, I'm not sure.
More interesting. I'm gonna read this one called the Tears. Idle Tears. We're gonna have then Naomi and Elijah read the Eagle. Tears, idle tears. I know not what they mean. Tears from the depths of some divine despair rise in the heart and gather to the eyes. In looking on the happy autumn fields and thinking the days that are no more, fresh and the first beam glittering on the sill that brings our friends up from the underworld, sad as the last which reddens over one, and sinks with all we love below the verge. So sad, so fresh, the days that are no more. Oh, sand strange as in dark summer dawns, the earliest pipe of half awakened birds, to dying ears, when unto dying eyes, the seedsman slowly grows a glimmering square. So sand, so strange days that are no more. Tears remember cases after death and sweet, and those by hopeless fancy feigned on lips that are for others, deep as love, deep as the first love, wild with all regret, all death in life, the days that are no more. That's like a song of a dirge, okay? But it passed away and released. The Eagle. This one uplifting. That was drop you. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, me. Oh.
The Eagle.
Wait. Oh, we're doing another one.
Yeah.
The Eagle.
Called the Eagle.
He clasped the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands, ringed with the Azur.
Azu means blue.
Azur.
Yes.
World he stands. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. He watches from the mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls.
Oh. Huh. It's interesting. Go ahead.
He clasps the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun with lonely lands. Ringed with azure world he stands. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay. I read something this morning. Cheryl shared us at 12:03. Here what it is. Look at this picture.
That's crazy. What is on top of Blackbird? Raven?
Like a raven on it.
Yeah, I saw. Crazy.
So we're reading Raven and we're reading Eagle now. So it's crazy, huh? Okay, let's read this. The only birds that will peck an eagle is the crow. He sits on his back or bite his neck. The eagle does not respond or fight with the crow. It does not waste time or energy on the crow. It simply opens its wings and begins to rise higher in the sky. The higher the flight, the harder it is for the crow to breathe. Eventually, the crow falls due to lack of oxygen. Stop wasting your time with the crows. Just take them to your heights and they will fade. That's good wisdom, huh? What do you think? Huh? You understand the meaning? What it means?
Yep.
Tell me.
Well, I guess just. Well, like, what do you mean? What the meaning of?
This guy, he has some comments there. Is that what do you mean?
Just bring up your. I guess. Trying to think of what the crow stands for.
You try exactly apply to real life, and right? So
Yeah.
certain relational engagement is not actually that encouraging, uplifting, and entanglements. The Bible calls entangling, right? So, no comments on that one.
Yeah, I think if the eagle was to resemble your life, then instead of engaging with inevitable, it's more than an annoyance, but like what can be damaging irritations, whether that be with other people or even with certain spirits that can inhibit one's life, then maintaining your standard and bringing yourself to your true calling, which is a higher place, without having to negatively engage with those things or respond to them, means that through patience and the maintaining of standard, they will eventually fall away, because they cannot live or be in that same place that you bring yourself to any longer.
Well, is that making sense to you guys? Are you so drained out? You want to have a nap like I am? Yeah. Okay. I hope reading poems will be exciting to you, man. It's draining you out. So that's terrible. Okay. Poem is exciting, okay? Poems of passion. Whatever. 210. This is actually very famous poet called his name called Browning, which is red. He was buried in the poet corner in Westminster. And anyway, let's read the bio here. Born outside London, Robert Browning, 1812 to 1889. Began his education largely in the home in his father's 6,000-volume library. Browning matriculated at London University when he was 16 years old, but completed only one term before dropping out to travel through Russia and Italy. He corresponded with the poet Elizabeth Barrett while in Italy, eventually receiving her permission to visit. The couple eloped in 1846, despite disapproval of her father. After his wife's death in 1861, Browning returned to London to focus on his literary career. His popularity soared. Some of his most important works were Men and Women, 1855, and The Reign of the Book, 1868 to 69. A long narrative about the 17th century murder trial in Rome, greatly admired by later poets such as Ezra Pound, that's a very famous poet, T.S. Eliot, that's a very famous poet. You know that one, right? So Noah, all of them you know, right? So
I haven't heard of Ezra Pound.
is very famous to use a Chinese poem actually, translated English style. So yeah. So, for the mastery of a Germanic monologue, Browning's influence in English language poetry has been profound. He died in Venice in 77. He is buried in Westminster Abbey. So that's Browning. Well, that's a lot to read. Long poems we're not going to do. We're going to turn quickly to the shorter poems, which is the second last. Meeting at the night. Whose turn to read?
Pastor Noah's.
Okay.
Am I reading Meeting at Night?
Mm-hmm. Read loud, so everybody can wake up. I need a wake-up call.
The gray sea and the long black land, and the yellow half moon large and low, and the startled little waves that leap in fiery ringlets from their sleep. As I gain the cove with pushing prow and quench its speed out of the slushy sand.
No.
Then a mile of warm sea, scented beach, 3 fields to cross till a farm appears. A tap at the pan. What's that pan?
P. Yeah.
The quick
Pan.
sharp scratch and blue spurt of a live match, and a voice less loud through its joys and fears than the 2 hearts beating each to each.
So, do you understand what this means? The meeting line to speaking the scene or the moment where this meeting took place, and right? So, and okay, go ahead.
Real quick. Are you sure it's pronounced fiery? I've never heard of it pronounced that way. Is it sure it's not fiery?
Fairy. No, it's a fairy. I think Eileen might be there. What is F-I-E-R-Y pronounces?
Wouldn't that be?
Fiery.
Okay, I'm wrong. So stay corrected.
Yeah, I just had never.
Okay.
Like fury sounds F-U-R-Y.
Oh, F-U-R-Y. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, like furious.
I'm wrong. So
No, it's okay.
yeah, there is a famous novel called The Sound of Fury. So I'm confused.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's okay.
I see.
You're right.
Oh, it's okay.
Always ready to correct me.
Sure.
Fiery.
Fiery. The gray sea and the long black land, and the yellow half moon large and low, and the startled little waves that leap in fiery ringlets from their sleep, as I gain the cove with pushing, I want to say pro because that rhymes with low. I don't know.
Huh.
That could be long.
I have no idea that word means.
Me either. And quench its speed in the slushy sand.
Yeah, I think it's with basically he crossed the sea, and right, the sea is a friend on the seaside.
Mm-hmm.
So he gained the crow, basically a corner where wind subsided or the sea subsided,
Right.
with a pushing pro, basically, things push on the seashore, basically. So yeah.
Then a mile of warm sea-scented beach, 3 fields to cross till a farm appears. A tap at the pane, a quick sharp scratch, and blue spurt of a lighted match, and a voice less loud, through its joys and fears, and the 2 hearts beating each to each.
So this might be meeting either a friend or maybe a lover, who knows? So
Maybe he's recalling an
Yeah.
experience he had with his wife, Elizabeth.
exactly. So the meet by the seaside, maybe this is love, the first sight.
That was
basically.
written a year before they eloped.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me read. I like this poem. We're beautiful. Ah, that's beautiful. Meeting at night. The great sea, as a long black land, a yellow half moon large and low, and the startled little waves that leap in fiery ringlets from their sleep. As I gain the cove with pushing pro and quenches speed, in the slushy sand. Then a mile of warm sea scented beach, 3 fields to cross till a farm appears. A tamed pen, the quick sharp scratch, and blue spurt of a lighted match, and a voice less loud, so its joys and fears, than the 2 hearts beating each to each. That's very good, huh? The last sentence, less loud, means the heart beating is much louder than the voice. Is that amazing? That's a very good poem. I'm gonna read the last one for fun. Parting and morning, round the camp of a sudden. Round the camp of sudden came the sea, and the sun looked over the mountain's rim, and straight was a path gold for him. and the need the world man for me. Wow, that's crazy. The two friends parting way, right, in the morning. So, come two features, two choices. So this is more than a parting occasion, it's a parting way of life in a sense, right? So, are you guys so bored? Have to make some noises to cheer me up. Good. Okay. So the next one. Oh, you want to conclude here? Waiting for next time. Up to you. Choice is yours now. So. I really like your jacket. It just has some jackets. You want one or next time? Waiting for next one. I think everybody's just pretty tired, so I'm gonna release you before you fall and you sleep. So me too. So okay, guys, thank you for today, and Noah, you pray for us a little bit. So
All right. Lord, we do indeed thank you, Lord, for today. Lord, what you have done in it, what you will continue to do through it. Lord, a work that is sometimes visible to us, but other times not. Lord, because we know, Lord, that your Holy Spirit is always working a work within his people. Lord, I pray that we would always remain open to this work, Lord, to be done within us and around us. Lord, I do pray that these days we spend together would continue to be set apart and blessed. Lord, that we would be ever more aware of the perspectives and the mindsets that we carry. Lord, throughout the day as an attitude and even into every moment. Lord, I pray that we would grow and mature, improve and succeed in these things. Lord, all through the strength and grace that you give us to do so. Lord, I do pray also for, Lord, a renewal of creativity in our minds and hearts, Lord, to improve our thinking.
So girls don't play with the hairs anymore, so something of that nature. Go ahead.
So Lord, I pray, Lord, that you continue to bless it in our relationships with one another. I pray this in Jesus' name.
That's a good joke. That's a good one. Anyway, I would like John, laugh at our own jokes. So, and we know it's not that funny actually. So.